All right. I'm Elena. I'm the head of career here at IBS Consulting. And for this month, IBS thought to host a webinar regarding career. Now, I want to see there's a chat box. I want to see from what industry you're joining from, whether that be finance, engineering, I don't know, law, healthcare, consulting. What industry are you in? Because we have some specific tips. We will have a Q&A session at the end. So I want to know from what industry are you joining? Research, okay. What type of research? Okay, mining and energy, all right. Engineering, okay. Health research, all right. Health research, okay. So we have healthcare, we have engineering, hospitality, engineering again, biomedical science. Okay, so healthcare, data, okay. All right. Data analytics, hospitality. Okay. Customer service. Customer service in what company? What type of company? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. I believe that. All right. So majority is engineering, healthcare, hospitality, and yeah, these are basically the top three. All right. So now I'm just going to share my screen and let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen? All right, perfect. You can, you can either text it on the chat or you can send me an emoji, I believe, or reaction. Okay, perfect. All right. So this is our IBS career webinar for January. In this webinar, basically a little bit about IBS. I think you probably know IBS is a career education consultancy. We have a 98% acceptance rate, whether that be for career or education. And we have worked with over 1,000 clients so far. Now, about this webinar will basically focus on three main things: how to conduct an effective job search, and I will give you some tips and tricks that we use, the actual things that we use. The second thing is compelling documents, of course, and then networking, how to network, because I will give you also the equation that we use when it comes to networking, documents, and job search. All right. Now, at the end of this webinar, as I mentioned before, we will have a Q&A session. You can unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can just type it on the chat. All right, both ways work. Now, when it comes to IBS strategy, it's 30% documents, 70% networking. What I mean by that is your documents show your story. All right, they show your skills, your experience, and everything. But it's who listens to that story that will give you that high-paying position that you like, that will give you your dream company, that will give you maybe a better working environment. Okay, so it's 30% documents, 70% networking. Now, I want by a raise of hands, because I want to see who implements networking, because documents are just like sending an application and then waiting from the company to hear back, and waiting to hear back from the company. Who actively engages with the people that work there? There's an entire strategy that goes behind this, but I want to see who networks, or who follows up with the company, who reaches out to a recruiter, by a show of hands. I just want to see. All right, so we have one person out of 23. Okay, all right. Abena does as well. Who else? Only two people? Only two people reach out to the company? I think there might be other people. Okay, Alfred does as well. All right. Okay. Okay, we have three more people. All right. Now, I wanna ask you, how do you network? So you have your documents. We will go into your documents as well, but I want to see, how do you network? And you can like unmute yourselves, okay? Come on, I don't want like a dead webinar. I want something active, something engaging, because this is your opportunity to actually get some advice, to actually work on your documents, to work on your networking strategy, to work on everything. So I want someone to unmute themselves and let me know, how do they network? Alfred, your hand is up. Belinda, your hand is up. No one want to talk? Okay, Alfred, how do you network? Alfred, can you unmute yourself? Okay, all right, you're still at work. Okay, I understand. All right, so, all right, so as I mentioned, it's 30% documents, and in the document sector, there are included resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn, and we will go through each of these and what to implement for each of these, and then the networking strategy, the exact strategy that we use, okay? Now, when it comes to creating a resume, a compelling resume, first things first is the primary document that you will need. So it's the most important document. Okay, that's the first thing. The next thing that I will tell you is know your experience. What I mean by that is that before you create your resume, you should create a draft. Not the draft of your resume, but a draft of your experience. You can actually basically ask some questions to yourself. For example, I worked at this company. Well, what is this company about? What does this company actually do? What is the net worth of this company? Who runs this company? How many sectors, how many departments does this company have? All right. The second thing that I need you to ask yourself is, what were my three main responsibilities in here? What were my three main responsibilities? If you don't know your three main responsibilities, take a look at the job description that you applied to. The third thing that I need you to know is, how do you improve systems within the position that you have or you had? Okay. And the reason, and basically the way on how you go about this is, you think of your day-to-day. You'll say, for example, I went to work at 8 a.m. The first thing that I did this. Second, I organized this. Third, I had a meeting with the client, right? So you go through your day-to-day and you figure out that, oh, okay, so before me, they used to take different, there was like a different way on how they did consultation meetings, for example. Or before me, the delivery time was longer. So right there, you implemented a system. Right there, you implemented an improvement. Okay, that's a huge, huge plus. So I want you to note that down. The third question that I need you to ask yourself is, what were the key metrics? What were the KPIs for my position? What was expected from me? The moment that you figure out that what was expected from you, you will also see the areas where you over-delivered. All right. The moment that you figure out those areas, you will connect it with the second point in here, which is, the third point in here, which is the industry metrics. The moment that you know that you're over delivering and you are fulfilling your responsibilities, you connect it with the industry metrics. The industry metrics is, for example, I saw someone that was in customer service, customer satisfaction rate. That's a metric. Another thing is delivery time. Another, basically, how fast does this client receive service? Another thing is, how many clients per day are you handling? How many issues do these clients are facing? So these are metrics, okay? And if you don't know more, and if you don't know basically your industry metrics, you can also Google these, okay? Figuring out the industry metrics, connected with the task that you were doing, and then these tasks, like this actual task is the keyword. Okay, so I don't know, you were doing consultation meetings, client consultation meetings. That's a keyword. You can connect it with an industry metric, which is client satisfaction. All right, this is how you create the resume sentences. This is how you create the resume sentences. Okay, now just a minute so I can let someone join. Okay, now when it comes to the part of the structure, as I mentioned, create the list of these questions for yourself. The company, what's the company about? You have to know your experience, as I mentioned before. That's why we at IBS, we have consultation meetings with the client. They usually takes up to 2 to 3 hours. So these consultation meetings are very, very important because these will tell us about everything about the client and their experience. But you can do this yourself as well. So as I said, the first question, what's the company about? You should know the company that you're working for. If it's an international company, you should know where the headquarters are located, because the location that you will input on your resume, it will be where the headquarters are located. All right. If you're working for an international company, I don't know, based in the US, you're working remotely, the location that you should put there is USA. Okay. Now, this is the second thing, the first thing, sorry. The second thing is you have to know what were your main responsibilities. Your 3 main responsibilities, 3 or 4, it's usually 3 main things. And after that, you should know how you improved systems. So you should take a look at your day-to-day. I did this, and then I collaborated with this. Even the most simplest things. For example, I don't know, you talked to your manager about how you can improve a certain thing. That's right there is basically that right there is a system improvement. Okay, even the slightest thing, they count. Okay. Now I want to see by under you can send me a reaction who's following and who's not following. All right, Antoinette is following. All right. Okay. I see people that are following. Perfect. And are you finding this information valuable so I can know whether to go more in detail? Okay. Perfect. All right. Perfect. Okay. Now, where was I? Yes. Now, you should know your experience. That was the first thing. And the last thing that you should ask yourself in this draft that I mentioned is, what were my small wins? Small wins are actually things that you don't even count, that you don't even think. For example, during this experience of mine, I learned how to, I don't know, how to do presentation in front of stakeholders, or I learned how to use a specific software. Those things that you don't even count or you don't even think about, those things might have a huge impact, or it might be exactly what another company is looking for. All right. So take a look at your small wins. And another thing, because I'm basically talking about the first point, know your experience, and the third one, the importance of industry metrics and keywords. If you don't know the industry metrics, you can Google them. All right. But the thing is that connect your experience with the industry metrics. Okay. The keyword are basically what you were doing, but in the industry terminology. All right. So we had some people we had one person from research, clinical research. Now, for that, you should use a lot of terminology. That's how your employer will know if you have experience or not. Okay. Another thing that you should emphasize is, actually, I want to say this after I mentioned the second point. So we talked about knowing your experience. Now you have your draft is ready. So you know for every single company, and yes, you do this for every single company, okay? Every single company. This takes around 2 hours to complete. And I want you to also ask another person for their opinion, okay? I want you to ask another person for their opinion. The reason why I say this is because if you will think about this on your own, you might miss things. But if another person asks you, okay, so what is this about? Because you might tell them, I worked on this research, right? And then we'll tell you, what was this about? Okay, remember that the person that will read your resume, it's not someone of your field, it's a recruiter. A recruiter knows how to spot industry metrics. They know how to spot keywords. They know how to spot your experience. They don't know terminology. So the more terminology they see, the more results they see, the better you will look. All right, does that make sense? Can I get a reaction and response? All right, perfect. Great. Now, great. All right. Now, when it comes to the importance of a standard resume structure, so we have the draft ready. Now I want you to prepare the resume structure. Okay. In the first, it should be your headline. It should be your name, the industry that you're in. All right. And the third thing, it should be your personal information. When it comes to your personal information, it should be your city and country. All right. So for example, I don't know, Virginia, USA. That's it. Not the exact address. Your phone number and your email. Okay. After this, you can, I don't know, you can insert kind of like a horizontal line just to like divide the two sections from one another. The second sector that you will work on is the summary of qualifications, but you work on this sector, the last one. This is the last one that you will complete. It's the second one when it comes to the ranking, but it's the last one. Okay. The third one is your skills. And I want you to divide your skills into two sections. The first one is software. Software is really, really important. Software. All right. Whether that be, I don't know, Microsoft Office, or whether that be Microsoft Teams, whatever you think, Slack. Okay. That is also software. Software that you use or you were using back during your experience at a certain company. Software and industry knowledge. All right, this is also very, very important, or industry skills. The reason why we have this is because you only highlight skills that you have in regards to the industry that you are, or the sector that you are applying. Okay. Wait, because I just got a message. There are some people in the waiting room. Okay. All right. So yeah, as I was saying, every single industry skills should relate back to the sector. So if you're in engineering and you are mentioning something that's out of this sector, it's basically the value of that is 0. You should mention only, and it's advisable to mention 10 to 15 skills that you actively use, all right, or you are good at, or I don't know. For example, let's pick the one that was working in customer service. The first skill that you should mention is customer relationship management. The second thing is client assistant, right? These are industry skills, okay? Now, the skills are the third sector. As I mentioned, headline, the first, second, summary of qualifications, third, skills, and now it comes to the professional experience. The professional experience, you list everything from your most recent experience, and then from your first experience, okay, to your first experience. So everything starts from your most recent experience or the job that you are now, and then moving down to your first job. All right. So chronological order from down up. Okay. And the last one is education. Now, what you should mention for every single of these sectors. I mentioned the skills sector. For the professional experience, I will go a little bit more in depth with the last and with the fourth point. And when it comes to the education, I want you to mention your master's or your bachelor's, your degree, basically, the university that you got it from. And if you are someone that has over 10 to 12 years of experience, I don't want you to mention the timeline. If you're someone that graduated, I don't know, 1 year before or less than a year, don't mention, okay? If you have graduated 2 years ago, or I don't know, so basically the timeline 2 to 7, you can mention it. Okay. The reason why I don't want these people that have a couple of months that just graduated from school that I don't want it to mention is because you will get a lower offer because you just graduated. You can have 5 years of experience, but if they see that you just graduated from university, they will think that your jobs will have been internships, part-time, okay? And the reason why I don't want people with over 7, 8, or 12 years of experience to mention the timeline, it's because you won't have the same offer with the person that has, I don't know, a little bit years of experience, but it's more updated with the industry. Okay, the people that are in the middle, they think that they're updated with the industry. They think they follow trends and everything. The people that are young, they think that, okay, so they're young. They don't really have that much experience. And for the people here, they think that they have too much experience and they're not very flexible. Okay. So another thing that I want you to mention on the education sector is, besides your diploma certifications that you have that are related directly or indirectly with the sector that you are applying to, okay? And then another thing, if you have a high GPA, above 3.5, you can mention it, as well as relevant courses. You can also mention that, okay? Now, when it comes to the professional experience, and then we have basically professional experience, and then we have summer qualifications to discuss. When it comes to your professional experience, as we have written here on the fourth point, remember that we should tailor the resume to highlight relevant work skills and experiences and align it with the sector. First things first, what I mentioned, industry terminology. Second thing is you have to mention things according to their importance. Now, remember when I mentioned that you should do your day-to-day and your main 3 responsibilities? Every single one of your responsibilities should be there. If you have an achievement, all right, not necessarily you completed that, all right, because the description of your professional experience, let's say of the job that you had at a certain company, is not a to-do list. So you should not write there, for example, I did this, I completed this, I helped this, I collaborated with that. No, you should, the sentences should be in a form like and another thing that I forgot to mention, use only powerful verbs. Only powerful verbs. Powerful verbs are spearheaded, orchestrated, led, all right? And then we have secondary verbs. Secondary verbs are assisted, collaborated. You see, it has a lower tone in here. These are powerful verbs. Maybe you might not have led a project, but you led a certain sector of that project or a certain part of that project. Maybe you led the research part of that project. Maybe you led the presentation in front of the stakeholders. So focus on those things, all right? I need you to, from one column, I need you to list the powerful verbs, then list the action that you were doing, and then list the industry metrics, and then list the results that you provided, and then connect them. Okay, and another thing is, this is the last point in here, showcasing your achievement, quantifiable results. I want you to approximately have an idea of your impact. So now we know that you had an impact on this company, but how much was this impact? All right, you can express this in 2 ways. First things first, percentage. So maybe, I don't know, you increased customer engagement by 20%, let's say, all right? You can do this approximately, okay? And the second thing is calculating things based on figures, based on money figures, all right? So if you would be in finance, for example, you would see that if you're doing a financial analysis or if you're running management for some accounts, you are also doing some risk analysis. So right there, you're saving some money. You're using here the measurement of monetary measurement, basically. And then you can say, I saved this much for the company and this much for these many clients. This is a huge achievement, okay? This is how I want you to go about creating that description. No more than 3 to 4 bullet points. If you had a promotion within that company, and don't list 2 jobs, you can only list 1 company once. Okay, list it with your highest title. And then you can basically add maybe 5 bullet points, okay? But only mention only mention the experiences that where you had, or the tasks that you performed your best. Okay, the resume, it's a list of achievements. So I need you to think of where you excelled. What were you doing best when it comes to your colleagues? Okay, you can also compare yourself with your colleague. What was I doing best? And there you will find things that you didn't. You will realize that you were even a better employee than you thought. So your resume will be great. Okay. So again, create that draft, because you have to know your experience. This is the first one. You cannot create a resume without knowing what you did, without knowing your impact. Okay. Now, after knowing your resume, with the same strategy that I mentioned, create a paper, create a draft. Ask those questions to yourself. First things first, focus on the company. What's the company about? Second thing, focus on your 3 or 4 main responsibilities. Third thing, focus on your how did you improve systems? Focus on your day-to-day as well, okay? And after that, focus on your small wins. Maybe you collaborated with someone, maybe you helped a client, maybe you discovered something, or I don't know. Anything can count, okay? After this, now you have your list, and you can highlight everything that you are proud of yourself, okay? Even learning a software, it's a huge achievement, all right? It might count as a small win, but it's a huge achievement, because there might be another company hiring specifically for a person to work with that software. So you never know, all right? Now, I want you to, and basically after this, after creating that draft, I want you to create some columns. First things first, powerful verbs, spearheaded, orchestrated, led, all right? And other verbs, you can also use other verbs. Then the list of the things that you were proud of yourself, the tasks. These are the keywords. You can also transform this within with your, or like, yeah, basically transform in your industry terminology. Okay. After that, you can connect it with an impact that you had. So you were doing this research and you provided this many results, or you provided, I don't know, something that no one else was seeing, or you had a bigger impact compared to your colleagues and stuff like that, and then quantify it. So we know that you had an impact, but how much was that impact? 2 ways you can quantify it: percentage and monetary figure. Okay. Does that make sense? I need to see some reactions. All right, perfect. How many of you were thinking of resumes this way when it comes to the strategy of the sentences? I want a show of hands. Okay, all right. Perfect. Okay. Now, yeah, this is basically for your resume. Now, the only sector that we left without, basically that we didn't talk about, was summary qualifications. Now your resume will be looking like this. We have the education sector completed. We have the personal information sector completed. We have the skills completed. We also completed the professional experience. So we have that checked. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention, make sure to also use, when it comes to the structure, make sure to also use fonts that are scannable. The Times New Roman, Helvetica, these are easy scannable fonts. All right. Also, they're my favorites, so I'm going to use them. All right. So after creating your professional experience, make sure now, the last part that we haven't covered is the summary qualifications. Now we have to make sure to do what? So we said that that your resume is the list of achievements. So your summary qualification should include your top achievements. Besides the first sentence, your first sentence should be the industry you're in, with how many years of experience do you have, and your top skills. All right. So the summary, the summary qualification, first sentence, it should look like this. Biomedical engineering professional with 3+ years of experience. If you have worked with if you have worked remotely with an international company, you can add their international experience. That is a plus when it comes to your salary. With experience in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can say, I don't know, pharmaceutical research, whatever. Okay, but you should mention the areas of your expertise. Does that make sense? The first sentence only. Can I get a reaction? Okay, perfect. All right, for someone that has a mixed background, I need you to remember with the industry that you like best. If you don't know where you're going, but if you know where you're going, you should adjust these experiences with the one where you're heading. Okay. Everything should be adjusted. And another thing, when it comes to the job titles, because a recruiter will see two things on your resume. He will see your summary qualifications and he will see the job titles. And then he will read or she will read your professional experiences, like the sentences. I don't want to see any intern as a job title. If you're applying to grad school, you can add intern there. But if you're not applying to grad school, if you're applying for a job, don't add intern, because intern is not a job title. Intern is a form of hiring, okay? Internship is a form of basically onboarding someone with a specific company. So it's not a job title. Or apprentice, it's not a job title. Practitioner, it's not a job title. Okay? I want you to actually research the job title of your based on your responsibilities. So if your job title is, I don't know, accounting intern, and you're doing financial analysis, you're doing risk management, all of these, you're an analyst. Your responsibilities are for an analyst. Okay? I want you to adjust the job title based on the responsibilities that you had. Okay? Now, I was saying for the summary of qualifications, and for that person that had a mixed background, focus on the one that you're heading to now, or the one that you want to apply, or the one that you want to be in, and adjust everything. I mean everything, job title, experience. Your list of achievements should be based on the industry metrics of the sector that you want to be in, okay? Now, also, if you don't know where you want to go, focus on what these industries have in common. For example, we had a client, she had experience working at a police department. She had experience working at a university. She had experience working, I don't know, there were other two companies. She also had experience working as a data analyst. Now, this person was a conglomerate, but the thing was the specific things that that person was doing for each company. That person was mainly doing administrative work. She was handling documents. She was, so yeah, as I was saying, she was managing documents. She was handling documents. She was managing teamwork. She was managing clients. So that's mainly administrative. All right. So that was her positioning. If you don't know your positioning, you should research for what these companies before had in common, or what your job for each companies was repetitive. Okay, this is how you create or build your experience, and everything should be regarding the sector that you will be applying. Okay, everything, it should be adjusted. Now, for the summary qualification, we had the first sentence. So we know the first sentence. Okay. When it comes to the other sentences, in total, there should be like 5 or 6 bullet points. When it comes to the second and third and fourth and fifth bullet point, you should do something. You should go through your resume, your professional experience, and highlight your highest achievements. Okay? So you highlighted the achievements from your position, from your job, and then you insert it on your resume. Now I need you to scan those again and pick 1 or 2 that you love, or 1 or 2 that you feel the most proud of, or 1 or 2 that are most valuable in your industry. Okay, and this is how you're going to fill out the other bullet points. No more than 5 or 6 bullet points for a summary qualification. This is the first thing when it comes to summary qualification. So basically, for summary qualification, there are 3 things. First things first, the first sentence that should mention what sector you're in, how many years of experience you have, and 3 or 5 main skills or 3 or 5 main sectors that you have experience in. The second thing is your highest achievements for every single one of your past experiences. And the third one is it should be adjusted to the job description. For every single job that you will be applying, it should be adjusted, okay? Because there might be a job description that wants, I don't know, better skills when it comes to research, and your STEM qualification is over here talking about how you are great with clients. Adjust it, all right? Every single one of those sentences on your summer qualification should be adjustable to the job description. This is the first one. And the second one that I wanted to mention is, so yeah, I mentioned that the recruiter will see your summer qualifications and your job title. And the second thing is that when they scan your resume, it should pick keywords. Okay, so you should have keywords on your summer qualifications. Okay, and the keywords are very, very similar to the ones that they use in the job description. All right. So if the job description says that you should be really good at research, knowing how to use 1, 2, 3, 5 softwares, okay, you should mention that on your summer qualifications. All right. Not everything that the job says. Not everything that the job description has, okay? I want you to highlight 3 or 5 things that are most important, and 3 or 5 things that you have compared to your other or compared to your competition, okay? Does that make sense? Perfect. Okay, I believe resume. I'm trying to mute this person. I don't know who this person is. Baraka, do you want to say something? Okay, all right. Okay, so I think we're done with the resume part. Any questions or anything? I know that we have a Q&A session at the end, but just like right now, if there's something that's unclear or something that you want me to go over again, or is it everything is okay? You can send me a thumbs up button if everything is okay, and a raise of hands if you have any questions. I believe so. This meeting is being recorded. I believe that you will get the recording at the end. I believe. I don't know. I will have to ask marketing about this. Jessica, your hand is up. Is there something that you wanna share? Okay, maybe she forgot her that the hand was up. Okay, all right. So resume is okay, all right? Now, and in the end of this webinar, I will also share my email with you. So in case you have any questions, or in case you want to, I don't know, me to read your applications, you can send it to me via email, all right? Does that make sense? And would that be okay? So, okay, perfect, all right. Now, when it comes to a cover letter, okay, so no, don't worry about it, Jessica. Okay, so when it comes to a cover letter, first things first, a cover letter is your chance to show the company that you are the ideal or the perfect candidate, okay? It's not to copy and paste your resume experience. And the best way on how you can do this is, okay, you can use ChatGPT for the first 2 paragraphs, but not for the last paragraphs, okay? Because when it comes to the cover letter, first things first, there is a structure, okay? There is a structure. You have the same headline that you use for your resume, so your full name, the sector you're in, your location, number, and email. That should also be that should also be the same one that you will use for your cover letter as well. Now, the other thing is that you should add your company name, the company location, the company location. Sorry about that. So you should add the company name, the company location, and the date that you are applying. Okay. So I don't know, December 13, 2023. Okay. Now, another thing that you should also include when it comes to the paragraphs, there are in total, just a minute, please. So, yeah. Okay, so there are in total, I would say 5 or 6 paragraphs. Now, if the first 2 paragraphs, so the first paragraph, it should be expressing your motivation, all right, and how enthusiastic you are to apply for this position. Okay, the second paragraph, the third paragraph, it should express your experience. It's very, very similar to your resume. Okay, you should highlight 2 most relevant experiences with the position and emphasize on your results, your achievements, and any software skills that you learned during that experience. Okay. Now, these are the 3 first paragraphs. Now, the one that changes and the one that makes the difference is the 4th and 5th. The last paragraph, which is the 6th paragraph, you should express your motivation, okay? And you should express how enthusiastic you are to join the company, how you would improve the systems, and everything, and then just invite them to have an interview with you. The 5th and the 4th and the 5th, or the 5th and the 6th, depending on how many experiences you have, you can list 2 or 3 experiences on your cover letter. The 2 paragraphs that will make a huge change on your application are, first things first, the one where you research about the company, and second thing, where you express on how everything that you know, the results that you provided, and the skills that you have, according with the software that you know, make you the ideal candidate. But very, very specific. Okay, what I mean by that is this: when a company is posting a job description, they need someone on board to help them with that problem. So they're experiencing a problem. Okay, whether that be they can't, I don't know, maybe something in their systems, maybe something in their client work, whatever. They're having a problem, so they will onboard you to solve that problem. Okay, and you should present yourself. These are the 2 paragraphs where you present yourself as the solution to their problem. But the first paragraph, you will show, the first paragraph of these 2, I mean, with the first paragraph, you will show that you are the person that knows about the company. And this will make a huge, huge, huge difference. All right, because no one does this. You should research about the company, know what the company does, know what the company is about, know their motto, know their values, know what basically what they're working on currently and everything. Okay, and position yourself on how you will implement changes, how you not change it, but like how you will solve their problem with your skills, with your knowledge. All right. And this one should be, you should also demonstrate how well you know this company. Okay, not more than 4 sentences. The second paragraph, when I mentioned the 2 most important ones, the second paragraph is the one where you should highlight skills, experience, motivation, and how these make you the perfect candidate. Okay, so you can say on your job description, it was highlighted this, and that. I can say that for this company, I did this. For the other company, I did that, resulting in this % increase. Okay, so I'm very, very confident that I can do the same for your company by 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let them know about your work strategy. Let them know about your experience. Okay, the more they know about you, your systems, your strategy, your skills, your experience, the better they will feel, the more comfortable they will feel to invite you for an interview. Okay, so you can also think of the cover letter as an invitation that you send to the company for an interview. Okay? So yeah, this is basically the structure that you should follow for the cover letters. Your headline, the first one. Second thing, the name of the company, their location, and the date that you're sending this. You can mention to the recruitment team at this company. The first paragraph should show enthusiasm, motivation, all right? And you can say that I feel like I'm the perfect alignment, or I'm the perfect candidate for this position. Second, third, the next 2 or 3 paragraphs should be regarding your past experiences for past companies, but make it seem like you solved problems, the same problem that they're having for other companies. Because as an employer, if I see that you solved these problems for one company before, or 2 or 3, I'm very much confident that you will solve the same things for me. Okay? Now, right here, you're at 20%. The other candidate, the other competition might be at 2%, you're at 20. Now you add these 2 other paragraphs. You show them that you know the company, and you show them why you will be the perfect candidate. Okay? How you show them how you be the perfect candidate? How your skill, experiences, software, motivation align with every single little thing that they're mentioning. Every single little sentence that they are mentioning there is a problem that they're having. Okay? If you see there, when it comes to the job description, it's usually a one sentence that says required, one sector that says required. The reason why, it's not because the ideal candidate should have those. The reason why those things are required is because they believe that they need a certain level for you to solve these problems. The moment that you solve them on your cover letter, you don't even need to have 8 years of experience when you have 5. Okay, because you already solved those problems. Okay? All right. Does that make sense? Are there any questions regarding cover letters? As I mentioned, a cover letter is an invitation for an interview, and you can close your cover letter with inviting them for an interview, okay? But make sure to let them know about your strategy, let them know about your work process, let them know about your experience, okay? You can say, oh, I provided this result for this company by 1, 2, 3. I researched this, I did this, I implemented this, I talked to these, okay? Let them know about your work strategy. The more in-depth your cover letter is, the better. When it comes to your work strategy and work process, okay? Now, I need to see by maybe thumbs up, maybe a raise of hands, if everything is okay when it comes to the cover letter. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay. Are there any questions so far? Or maybe something that I need to go over again? To whom should it be addressed? Okay, the cover letter is always addressed to the recruitment team. Basically, you can say that to the recruitment team at this company. Okay, comma, and then you can start your first paragraph. It should always be addressed to the recruitment team. But if someone from the company reached out to you on LinkedIn, and let's say that person might be the CEO or the manager of that company, you can create one cover letter for that person, one cover letter for the recruitment team. Okay? Perfect. The required length of a cover letter. Now, it does depend on your experience, and it does depend how in-depth you want to go. It's a standard of a 1 page, but if you have a lot of experience, it can even be 2 pages. I will show you some samples by the end of this webinar before we have the Q&A session. I will show you a sample of a resume, and I will show you a sample of a cover letter. Okay, does that sound good? Perfect. Now, jumping into your LinkedIn. Now, I know that a lot of people don't ask about LinkedIn. They ask about resumes and cover letters, but LinkedIn is your online resume. You apply to a company, so you send a resume, but a company might come to your profile and see your online resume. So right here, the LinkedIn important, it's way higher compared to a resume when it comes to landing a position, okay? And when it comes to being out there, all right? Now, first things first, it's your online resume. So it should be optimized. It should be, basically, you should implement every single little thing of the things that I mentioned in your resume. Okay. But there are two main things that a recruiter will want to see. There are two things. Now, for the first one is your about section. And your about section is very, very similar to one of your sectors on your resume. And I want to see who will guess this. Your about section on your LinkedIn profile is very, very similar to one of the sectors on your resume. Which one is that sector? Which sector is your about section on LinkedIn very similar to? I want to see your responses on the chat, or you can unmute yourselves. Okay, summer qualifications. All right, perfect. Okay, perfect. So yes, the about section is very, very similar to the summary of qualifications. Now, what that means is when you will create or when you will optimize your LinkedIn, I need you to have your resume in front of you and your LinkedIn profile. Your about section is your summary qualifications. Okay. Remember that we adjust the summary qualification according to the sector or industry that we want to be. In here, you can just place an general one. Okay. You don't need to tailor it, but you need to highlight your highest achievements. Okay. Just like we mentioned. Summary qualification is adjustable on your resume. It's adjustable based on the job that you're applying. When it comes to the about section on LinkedIn, you cannot adjust it because you're not applying to a job. You will have people coming into your profile, but I need you to highlight your main achievements there. Okay. The first sentence, you can write this in first person or third person, but I want you to mention the sector you're in, your achievements, quantifiable results that you had, how many companies you worked before, what sectors, and everything. Okay. It's a short story about you. I would say 3 to 4 paragraphs. Okay. Now, after completing your about sector, the next thing that you should do is, I want you to guess this as well. So we complete, the first one is your about sector. What's the next one? I want to see your answers on the chat. What's the next sector after your summary qualifications? I'm not seeing education. Work experience. Nope. 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 Professional experience. Nope. Education. Nope. Skills. Okay, yeah. Basically, after about section, you have the skills sector. Profile picture. Well, you should have a great profile picture, by the way. If you have if you have like a professional headshot of yours, you can do that. A volunteer. No, it's not volunteer. It's your headline. After the about section is your headline. One thing that I wanted to mention very briefly is that after you complete your about sector, you have a box with top skills. Those skills are very, very important because those are some SEO optimized words or keywords that LinkedIn uses to connect you with people within that with the same skills, okay? Or within the same with companies that would use your skills, all right? So those skills define your sector and are usually the 5 skills that you add on your resume, the first 5 ones, okay? But yeah, after your about sector, you complete your headline. I want your headline to have 3 things. First things first, the sector that you're in. For example, research, a clinical research expert or clinical research professional, or I don't know, finance analyst, okay, or electrical engineering, okay, and then you can add that vertical line. The second sector is the skills that you use or the sector that you have experience in. For example, if you're a software engineer, you can say I've worked in, or you can say software engineering or software engineer, and then vertical line, fintech, govtech, or you can adjust, or like you can combine this with one of your results. For example, drove $2 million in revenue for a fintech startup. Okay. The last one is based on your preferences. You can add another one. You can add maybe something that you do on the side as a side hustle. For example, I know one person that does public speaking, so you can add there a public speaker. Okay. So this is how you adjust it. There are three sectors. First one is your sector, the industry sector that you're in. Then is your skills, and then is your results. Or you can combine these two together. For example, as I mentioned before, drove this much in revenue or drove this percent in growth for this particular company. Okay, this is how you go about your headline. And yes, you should have a professional headshot. If not, there are plenty of AIs now that can generate a professional headshot for your LinkedIn. So yeah. And then when it comes to your professional experience, make sure to add the job title that you added on your resume. And for every experience, for every one of your experience, there are 3 ways that you can go about writing these. Okay. Now we have your resume with the job descriptions and your job titles. Each job title you copy and paste it to your LinkedIn profile. And another thing is your description. Now you can copy and paste the bullet point description, which is the first way on how you can go about the description. Copy and paste the bullet point description. You can add text. This is my personal favorite. You can add text. For example, instead of doing bullet points, you can have a more flow to your description. So I was in charge of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I worked on this, did this, collaborated with that, right? This is how is the text. And you can have like maybe 3 paragraphs, okay? You had 3 bullet points there. You can have 3 paragraphs. You might not even have any paragraph. It's just like one. And the last one is you can add emojis and emphasize the skill. For example, client meeting, you can add an emoji, client meetings, 2 points, and then you can say, I attended these, I did presentations on that, okay? Whatever skill that you are highlighting there, make sure to pinpoint it and then explain how you did it, okay? This is more towards skills. The other one is bullet points, just like on your resume. And the last one is text, okay? Does that make sense? And for your education, if you want to mention your GPA, you can do that. If you want to mention a relevant course, you can also do that. But it's not one of the main sectors. Your main sector is your about sector, your headline, and the last one, your professional experience. Okay, and then it comes to education. Perfect. I want to see by maybe a raise of hands, maybe an emoji or a reaction if you're following up and if this is making sense. Okay. Why do I always see like 3 names? Okay, now I'm seeing 2 other names. All right, perfect, great. Now, so as we said in the beginning, when it comes to our strategy, it's 30% documents, 70% networking. So we completed the document side. We went through resume, we went through cover letter, we went through LinkedIn. Okay, so we completed the sectors. We completed the document. So 30% documents, 70% networking. When it comes to the documents, we mentioned resume, cover letter, LinkedIn. We covered these. Now we're jumping into your 70%. This is where the active game and basically the part that takes the most time starts. All right, now you have your LinkedIn ready, now you have your cover letter ready, now you have your resume ready, but now it's who do you tell that story? Okay, because you have your story ready now, but it's who listens to that story that will get you your dream job. Okay. And this happened thanks to networking. And you should have a strategy when it comes to your networking skills. Okay. Now, this is an easy step-by-step process that I will explain now. And this is one of my favorite processes to start with. Now, when it comes to networking, first things first, everything starts with your resume. All right. Everything starts with your resume. Aside from taking a look at jobs on job boards, on LinkedIn, I need you to be very, very intentional with your applications. So yes, you can go with the mass applications route, but the chances of you landing something that you really, really like compared to being intentional with you actually applying to companies that you would love to work, it's different. Okay? You can do mass applications, maybe 3 or 4 companies or 3 or 4 positions in a day. Okay, because maybe you don't know the entire job market. Neither do I. So you can do mass applications. That's okay. But you can also do the intentional job search. And I guarantee you that this one will get you way, 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 way better results. The intentional networking or the intentional job search. And how do you do this? First things first, you start with your resume. You have maybe worked with 2 companies before, 3 companies before. Take a look at the profile of these companies. There is something in the industry that if you have an experience working with a company, let's say in retail, another company that's in retail will more likely accept you compared to another company, for example, a tech company, that they won't accept you. You might have the same certifications as everyone else, but your experience is with the companies of other sector. Okay, so people that are within a sector stay within that sector. You can totally jump. You can totally jump from one sector to another, but you have to adjust your jumping, okay? You have to find those loopholes that are very, very similar to the sector that you're in now, okay? The reason why I say this is that companies hire based on familiarity. How familiar are you with the processes? How familiar are you with the industry? How familiar are you with the softwares? How familiar are you with the skills that are required? Okay, so companies hire based on familiarities. All right. Now, I want you to take a look at your resume, take a look at the companies that you worked before, and Google for companies that are very, very similar to these ones. You might have 2 on your resume, you might have 3. I need you to Google and look for companies that are similar to these ones. The way on how you do this is similar companies to these. Okay, and then we give you a list. So now from 3 companies, you have 15. Okay. From 15 companies, now you have a list of 15 companies, okay? What you can do now is expand your research. You go on LinkedIn. You go on LinkedIn and you will take a look at the company's profile. So you discovered this company, and this company, I don't know, is located abroad. You don't know anything about this company, but you have to do your research. You have to, as I mentioned, you have to be very, very intentional about this. You can set aside maybe, I don't know, 2 hours a day for this. And this is also really good for people that already have a job, because they will keep you updated with the market. And that is very, very, very important. All right. Now, not Google, but like go on LinkedIn and search for these companies' names. Search for these companies' names and take a look at 2 main categories. First things first, their job openings. And second thing, the people who works there. This is the most important one. If they have any job openings, you can send your application, of course. But the most important one is the people category. You know that if you search for a company, it will show people who work there. You're familiar with that, right? Can I get a reaction? All right, perfect. So there's a sector there with the people that work there. And I need you to, first things first, take a look at people that are within your department. So if you're an engineer and if you see someone in the finance department, or maybe this huge consulting firm, you don't need that person. You need people within your department, okay? So you need people within your department. Again, I emphasize that. You can take a look at the company, at the people that work there. And I want you to take a look at 3 main categories. First things first, the recruitment team. All right. And I want you to create a spreadsheet, list these companies. Now you have 15 companies. You started with 3, you Googled, you found, I don't know, 15, 20, 25, I don't know, the more the merrier, okay? You can start, because the last point is keep track of your progress. You can start a Google sheet. You can list the name of the companies, and now you have to list the name of the contacts or the name of the people that work there. You can say that I saw this person. I don't know. There was this person named, I don't know, Elena. right? She worked in recruitment. All right. There was this one person, she worked within my department. She worked in sales, or she worked in at marketing. Okay. Sorry. Um, so you should note down people that work within your department, people that work in the recruitment team or management team. Any manager title, note it down. Okay. Another thing that you can do is download a Chrome extension called Signal Hire. This extension, or Apollo or Signal Hire, they will give you the phone number of this person, the email of this person, and I would advise you to send them an email, not to contact them via phone, via their phone number, but an email is very, very professional, okay? Now you have maybe the contact of 2 to 3 people. So now you know 2 to 3 people for each of these companies. Another thing that I want you to take a look at when you're taking a look at these people, aside from taking a look at their contact first, take a look at their past experiences. Because I mentioned companies hire based on familiarities. So that means that if they hired that person, if they hired Elena, she had worked in companies which that company found familiar. All right. So right now, if Elena has, I don't know, maybe 2 other companies listed on her LinkedIn, those 2 other companies become target for you. All right. So right there, your job list, your company list goes from 15, 20, it goes to 30, goes to 40, 50 companies. Okay. The extension. Okay. So Chrome extension, it's called Signal Hire or Apollo. Apollo is not a Chrome extension, but you can download it from your phone or from your laptop. I will note this in the chat. This is the first one. This is the second one, okay? Now, so right now, you started with your resume, you Google search, and then you saw some similar companies. You now have 15 to 20 companies. You LinkedIn search these companies, and you figure out who works there. And as we mentioned, companies hire based on familiarity. So after this, after seeing the people that work there, and the idea that that company found familiar one of these companies that they had on their past professional experience, those companies become your target. So now your list is looking with 40, 50 companies, okay? And take your time doing this, all right? It might take you a week to have a list of 50 companies. But guess what? Now you know the job market better. Another thing that I want you to take a look at, besides their past experience, is taking a look at their about section, if they have one, or the job title that they had on these past experiences, all right? Because aside from companies hiring based on familiarity, they also hire based on a hiring pattern. What that means is you can take a look at the majority of 80% of employees within a company. They usually have 2 or 3, maybe 5 things that are in common. For example, let's take IBS Consulting. What's one common thing that everyone here that works for IBS has in common? They have great writing skills. All right. What's another thing? They might have a specific certification when it comes to a certain sector. What's another thing? All right. This is how you look for these things. And it's very, very noticeable. For example, people that work at Deloitte, let's say, for example, all right, the majority of them, they have a master's. Maybe they have a certain certification, all right? If you take a look at people that work in tech companies, the majority of them, they have a portfolio. They have a website to show their past experiences or to show their portfolio, all right? Or projects that they worked on. So take a look at these hiring patterns. These are very, very important, okay? Take a look at these hiring patterns. You need to be one of the people to get hired and work for that company. Let's say if you don't have a certain certification and that certification is required, and that certification is also something that you are seeing in the hiring pattern of that company, you need that. All right, you need that. Now, as we mentioned on your Google sheet, you have the list of the companies you have the list of the names, you have the list of their contact, their email, and now you have a list of the hiring pattern within that company. Maybe this company needs this or that, right? You have the list. Right now, this will give you an overview of the entire market, because everything else is a repetitive thing. If you have a list of 50 companies, everything else is repetitive, okay? If you check, maybe not all the boxes, because you can never check all the boxes, but if you know the information of what is required and know how to adjust it with your experience, or say that basically my experience so far is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm working on getting 1, 2, 3. All right. The company will see that this person is very much one of our own. Okay. Does that make sense? Can I get a reaction if that makes sense? Perfect. Now, this is how you go about great. This is how you go about networking. And the other one that I wanted to mention is, aside from studying these people, you should also actively engage with these people. Send them a LinkedIn message, send them an email, all right? Let them know, hey, I'm this person, I have this experience, I wanted to apply for a position at your company, this is my resume, feel free to give me your feedback, okay? Another thing, don't wait for a company to have a job opening. Send your resume anyway. 50% to 60% of job openings are never advertised, all right? Most of the companies hire through referrals. I mentioned companies hire based on familiarities, all right? So the majority of their positions, especially management positions or high-level positions, they're hired through a referral system, okay? Now, I need you to send your resume before the company even opens a job role. I want you to create an idea that that company should know my name if they need anything. If a problem turns out, they don't need to post it as a job description. They just need to reach out to me. Okay, so you put things in place, and this is the great time. Now it's January. There will be a March rush. So there will be tons of internships that will be announced. There will be tons of full-time positions that will be announced, part-time positions and everything. There are two main job openings period, and there's March and September. So you have plenty of time to do your research, to do your job search strategy, to have that Google sheet with everything on there, to know the hiring patterns, to become that person that the company will hire, all right, and reach out to them, all right, before they even open a job opening, before they even post it. Does that make sense? Perfect. And this is for every single company, no matter your location, for every single company, all right? Great. So, as I mentioned, before the company thinks of even announcing a job position, they should think of you. They should think, okay, so this person, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have her resume or his resume. We know everything about them. We know how they work. Okay, so actually, let me just tell you like this. This is how everything connects. So I will be the company, all right? And I will think, all right, so we are having this issue or this problem, so we need to onboard someone that knows how to deal with these things. You already networked with this company before, so they know you, all right? And they will think, we had that one person who had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things mentioned on their resume. They already dealt with this, and now they will jump in your cover letter. They also mentioned that they have a very, very in-depth working strategy. They know how to work with our processes, and they are really aligned with our values. And now they will go into your LinkedIn profile. This is a person that takes everything, that pays attention to every detail, all right? They will review your profile once again, and then they will invite you for an interview. But they already know your name, so you have to make sure that that company knows your name, all right? There will be maybe 50, 60, 100 companies, but all of them need to know your name. I'm not saying to be annoying, but you can follow up with them. You can send an email. Maybe no one will respond with the first try. Send it again, all right? You might find another person that works within the same department, and send that email again. The two main departments that you should target: recruitment and management. All right, especially management within your department. If you're applying for, I don't know, clinical research, make sure to take a look at who is the manager of that department. All right. Now that this 70%, this is why I say this is the 70%. This takes a lot. All right. And I want you to go through this step by step, baby steps. Okay. Take a look at the first companies on Google. Take a look at the other companies on LinkedIn. Take a look at the people that work there. Engage with those people. All right. And another thing that would be a huge plus is if you create a personal brand. So if you post on LinkedIn, maybe something regards to, I don't know, an innovation that happened on your industry or sector, or a project that you worked on before. What did you learn? All right. Does that make sense? I need to see some reactions. Okay. Perfect. Okay, great. All right. Now we are at the end of our webinar. So we have the Q&A session. And I also mentioned that I will share 2 examples with you. But before I do that, any questions, whether that be for the document phase or the networking phase, I give you like the actual step-by-step process that we actually follow, okay? So any questions? Well, but apparently I'm a great teacher, but I really need to see some questions. There are no questions? So everything is clear and you know how to implement it for yourself. How do you break in an industry when you have no idea about it? All right. So, okay, it's okay. It's all right, Barbara. Don't worry. Now, how do you break in an industry without having an idea about it? Well, you research about that industry. All right. So this is where you start. Instead of if you want to jump into a new industry and you have no idea about it, you don't start from the document. You start from the networking. You take a look at the study. You take a look at the hiring patterns. You take a look at every single little thing. You start from these, and then you tailor your experience. And there was another question that Robert asked. I have a background in communications. How do I break into mining or tech? Take a look at what you're doing exactly. All right, take a look at what you're doing exactly. So you can say that, okay, so I have a background in communication. What are you doing exactly when it comes to communication? What type of companies are you working? That company that you're working in communications, what type of company is it? Because if it's a tech company, or maybe something that has to do with indirectly maybe with another tech company, right there you are positioned really, really well. All right. But as I mentioned, start with the networking phase and then jump into the document. Okay. For you, the most important part is the networking. So take a look at the companies, take a look at the people that are working there, take a look at their hiring patterns and everything. Okay. Can we get the samples of the resume and cover letter? I will show you the samples in just a moment. If a company specifically indicate they are hiring for 2 regions and you're not in any of the regions, do you go ahead and apply? So if it's required, if it's like a must for that company, I think that you should reach out to them and ask, okay? You can let them know that, hey, I have this background. I wanted to apply for one of these openings. I would encourage you to apply if the region is very close to you. I would encourage you to apply if that region is really, really close to you. Okay. And if you have the knowledge, or if you are basically an ideal candidate for that company, all right? This is where I would encourage you to apply. And then Barbara asked, what kind of certifications do you generally recommend? It does depend on your industry. It does depend on your industry. But those type of certifications are the ones that you will highlight on the hiring patterns when you do your research. This is why I emphasize that the research is very, 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 very important. All right. because the certifications are different. Cybersecurity has different certifications. Finance is different. Project management has different. Every single sector has different certifications. So it's not like one that is general. How do you decide on which industry to focus on if you had multiple experiences in different industries? As I mentioned, take a look at your responsibilities. All right. Take a look at your responsibilities, because you might say that I worked in different industries, but maybe the job that you were doing is similar. Okay. Or maybe it's complementary. So you're adding to that first position. Okay. So take a look at those previous positions that you were working on, and take a look at the company profile as well. These are two things. Take a look at these. All right. If you find yourself interning for a company you wish to formally work with while on study abroad, how do you position yourself in a viable candidate for hiring during or after ending your internship? You make sure to, one, create a very, very great relationship with your manager. Another thing, get a recommendation letter from him. Let him know, or her know, that you want to apply as a full-time person. And another thing is make sure to also figure out who is in charge of hiring for these full-time positions. All right. If a company has basically, if you work for a company as an intern, you're very, very likely for them to offer you a full-time position. Okay. But networking is what will get you that full-time position. And your relationship with your manager is one of the most crucial ones. Okay. You should have your manager basically as a friend, and get a recommendation letter from him. Okay. And if he is I don't know, a person that's close to you, you can even ask him or her to refer you. All right. Great. Another question: do you recommend including your LinkedIn profile to your resume? Yeah, you can. You can do that. You can do that. All right. So another question: I'm studying UI UX to break into the industry. No prior experience. My past experience in this are sales, marketing, admin. All right. How does this affect or change the process for me when I have an interest in entertainment, fashion, or arts industry? Okay. First things first, you will need a portfolio. All right. You are studying UI UX. So you need a portfolio, and you will need at least 10 projects. Okay. But keep in mind that these projects should be in regards to, one, your past experiences and how they connect with the industry that you want to jump in now. So maybe you were doing something in sales or marketing, right? But for these, you can also implement it in the entertainment or fashion. Okay. And the second one is passion projects. You might not have 10 projects that you have worked on because you're currently studying UI UX. But what you can do is add some passion projects for that industry that you are interested in, entertainment, fashion, arts industry, okay? And in there, on your portfolio, you can create a website, or you can do it as a Canva portfolio. I would suggest a website, considering you are studying UI UX. First things first, you should emphasize a summary for yourself, all right, who you are. Second thing is your interests, your skills, and the software that you know how to use. And then the list of projects. If you don't have enough projects, add passion projects, all right? Take a look at what other companies are doing, what projects are they working on, and how you would do things differently, or what will you implement, okay? And for all of these, mention problems that arise, software that you used, results, who do you collaborated with, okay? Stuff like that. But you should create an entire framework for yourself, for those people to know that maybe she doesn't have that prior experience, but she knows what she's talking about, okay? She has the skills that we need, all right? Does that make sense? Perfect. Okay. I want to see if I missed any of the questions. Apparently not. Oh, no, I don't think. Are there any other questions? before I share those templates that I mentioned. Do you suggest upgrading LinkedIn to LinkedIn Premium? I actually have another suggestion for that. Take a look at people that are selling LinkedIn's for free. What I mean by that is you can search on LinkedIn, just search on that search bar right there, LinkedIn Premiums. And there are plenty of recruiters that are selling or like not selling, like giving for free LinkedIn Premiums. And ask them for that. You can do a free upgrade when it comes to LinkedIn. And the reason why they do this is because companies sponsor these to them, and they usually sell them, but also give them for free. Do I recommend it? I would say 50-50. 50-50. I personally don't use it, but there's this plus side where you can network better with people. That's the only plus side of these. But you can also find LinkedIn Premium for free on LinkedIn as well. Just search for LinkedIn Premium, and you will see recruiters, you will see people like giving away LinkedIn Premiums for free. There was this one guy last week, he was giving away 9 LinkedIn Premiums. So yeah. Please do the cover letter. For the cover letter, is there a specific page length? So there is a standard of a 1 page, but if you want to go more in depth, you can do a 1.5 pages or 2 pages. 1.5 pages, I would say don't go more than 1.5 pages. And when it comes to messaging people, download those 2 extensions that I mentioned, because it doesn't matter when it comes to the person, whether those have LinkedIn Premiums or not. Signal Hire or Apollo will give you their contact, okay? No matter if they use LinkedIn Premium or not. Now I will show you. Do you want me to show you a resume or a cover letter or both? Or is this a rhetorical question? Both. Okay, all right. Okay. Great. Wait, I also had another question here. Could you run through any differences between a CV and a resume? Actually, we have a Medium article for that, so you should also follow IBS on Medium. We have an article there regarding these, and we also updated based on news, based on career things that you should be aware of, based on salary negotiations, every single little thing. Okay, so make sure to subscribe on IBS's LinkedIn account. Medium account, and you will get constant. Every single week we post a new article, and it's regards to something, whether that be education related or career related, and it's a great information. Okay, not because it's IBS, but like it's really, really great information. So when it comes to the differences of a CV and a resume, first things first, the CV is a different structure. Your education on your resume, it's at the bottom. When it comes to your CV, it's second, after your summer qualifications. Another thing is that your CV is meant for school applications. So positions such as intern, all right, they're acceptable. On your resume, it's not acceptable because it's more formal and everything. When it comes to your CV, you can leave these sentences without a result. You can leave this without a result. On your resume, you cannot do that. Your resume will get rejected. Okay? So there are plenty of differences. See, Jessica found it. I told you there was a Medium article. And make sure to subscribe on our LinkedIn account. LinkedIn. Why do I keep saying LinkedIn? Medium account. I'm sorry, Medium account, because there are some really, really great articles there. If there is an internship credit for your graduate program, will you suggest using the same networking technique for landing an internship with an international organization? Same thing for everything. I've used this for landing a PhD offer, and it works. It works for every single little thing. Okay, you should get out there. People should know you. All right, this networking technique works for everything. Okay, whether that be school, education, internship, career, a job at a company that you never thought you would work at. It works for every single little thing. Just make sure you apply it step by step. I'm searching for that resume now. Just a minute. Because I have plenty of documents here. In general, because I want to see, as I'm searching for this, what's the feedback regarding this webinar? Should we include something? Should we remove something? Did you find the information valuable, insightful, helpful? I don't know. I need some feedbacks. No feedbacks. Why no feedbacks? Insightful. All right, perfect. Very insightful. All right. Great. Perfect. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Harriet. Only 3 feedbacks. Okay, very practical. Thank you. I was aiming for that. There is some new information every single week. Perfect exposure. Great. Educative and informative. That's great. Oh, you didn't know LinkedIn was an online resume? Yes, it is. And it's basically the resume that you don't have to send. Other people take a look at it without you actually doing the work. Yes, I will share my email address because Isaac asked if I can share my email address in case we apply, and you can send it to me for a review. Yes. Okay, I'm taking a look at your feedbacks. Very great. Thank you. But then the timing, I wish the next webinar could be done at 4 p.m. All right, we will keep note of that. Very insightful, informative. I will definitely join next time. Great, because next time we won't be talking about resume, cover letter, LinkedIn, and networking. We will tell you about the next stage of things, all right? How to actually do and implement these things. And then how to do the interviews and how to network with recruiters and stuff like that. Because this are the first stages. These are the first stages. You can complete this in a week or 2. I'm sending you my email. It's elena@consultwithibs.com. Consultwithibs.com. Yeah, I believe I wrote this correctly. Can the webinars be added to our calendars? I don't know for that. I think it should start at 5 p.m. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. But we can have maybe a 2-part webinar. I don't know if that's a thing. Quick question: for every job, we need to tailor our CV to suit it. So does your LinkedIn have to be very general to match any job you may apply for? So yeah, with your resume, you can adjust it according to the job description, and you can send it. But there's one thing: if the summer qualification on your resume is basically mentioning the main things that job is requiring, there's no need to adjust any information. You can just send it. But when it comes to your LinkedIn, you cannot change your LinkedIn every single time because you will get blocked that way by LinkedIn. And you can just like mention your main achievements, your main results. Same thing like you did with the first draft of your summary of qualifications, and just like copy and paste it, and that's it. All right. Don't change your LinkedIn about sector. Can there be a session for preparing for interviews? Yes, there will be another one when it comes to interview preparations and every stage and everything. I'm finding the resume now. Just give me. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, do you want me to show you what type of resume? Because I have some resumes here. These are our top resumes. One got a job at Deloitte. One got a job at Tesla. Which one do you want to show you? Both. All right. Okay. All right. I will show you both. Okay. Let me just stop sharing this so I can start sharing the Google Doc. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. All right. Can you see my screen? Perfect. Now, this is the resume that landed an interview with Tesla. Engineering space, by the way. So I saw there were some engineers in here joining. So yeah, as we mentioned, the headline first, this was the name of the person, but we just did this as IBS workshop. IBS actually had a workshop in November, I believe. So yeah, workshops are more practical compared to webinar. So a webinar is giving you the guideline. A workshop is actively working with you on how to implement these things, okay? So make sure to also join our workshops. This is a webinar for this month. Maybe next month we will have a workshop. So yeah, you can follow us on our socials to get notified for the workshop, okay? Now, for this, your headline, you see how this is written here, automotive technician and mechanical engineering professional. This is the sector, okay? Now, after that, you have the city that you're located, number, email. After this is summary qualifications. Take a look at this. The first sentence that I mentioned, automotive technician, mechanical engineering professional with 3+ years of experience with a proven track record of successfully working on and maintaining wide range of vehicles, et cetera, okay? How do we adjust this? Including 4+ Tesla models. This is an adjustment, okay? Now, after this, we have added around 6 bullet points, 6 or 7, I believe, 7. And then we are saying here, demonstrated comprehensive understanding. What else? Collaborated closely with this department, pioneered this. Oh, anything else that you implemented on a company, noted with pioneered, okay? This is how this client implemented or changed a certain system for a certain company, okay? These are very, very important points to mention, okay? Now take a look at the skills, software and tools. We added tools because he's an engineering, he's an engineer basically. And then we have industry knowledge, all right, you see? The first 5 ones are very, very important. I think I showed 4. Are you following with the resume? All right, perfect. Great. Then we jump into your professional experiences. Take a look at the job titles. Do you see any of the jobs with an intern title? None. Do you see any of the jobs with the job title that is outside of this client's sector? None. You see? So we have automotive and systems technician. You mentioned the company, the accent here is the company, and then location. The location of the company is always where the headquarters are. All right? And then we use these. Implemented is a powerful verb. Utilize advanced, etc., etc. It's, again, it's a powerful, well, utilize in itself, it's not a powerful verb, but if you combine it, for example, utilize advanced diagnostic, you see, this makes it more powerful. This is how you go about it, and you also add the timeline. Make sure to have no gaps. If you can, make sure to have no gaps on your resume. And then at the bottom, education. You can say Bachelor's of Science and Engineering. After the note here, University of yada, yada, yada. All right. After this, academic achievement, if you have a high GPA, above 3.5, and relevant courses. Okay, but we remove the information. Okay, this is the resume. All right, now I'm going to share another resume. Just a minute. What do you thought of that resume? Was it in line with what I mentioned and in line with what you thought on how to create your own? Perfect. Okay. Yes, great. Now I'm going to share another resume. So we have, all right, so we have one from finance, we have one from marketing, and I think we have one from healthcare, global health. So which one do you want? I'm not accepting all, just one. Marketing, healthcare, finance. Oh my God, global health. All right, I'm going to show you basically all of them, so everyone can be satisfied. Okay, all right, so I have the global health in front of me now. Take a look at this. This is global health. This person is currently working for an international organization remotely. So, you see, global health professional with 4+ years of experience. You see, this is always the first sentence. And an advice in general. If you're in healthcare, another metric that you can use, aside from percentage monetary figures, you can also use people or individuals that you helped, or how many people that you reached out to, okay? Great. Now, software, industry skills, professional experience. Take a look at the job titles. External affairs associate, medical assistant, public health researcher, medical doctor. Very different job titles, but all of them are within the healthcare industry. Okay? For the person that was in research, take a look at these sentences in here. Okay? And then education. All right? This is a great resume, actually. All right, I will share now the finance one. And then I will show you a cover letter sample. Are the highlights for the purpose of this webinar or were submitted? No, the highlights were for the workshop. So IBS hosted a workshop, I believe in November, and we went through in details with every single little thing that we added there on the resumes and how the participants can also implement it. And those informations were highlighted. So that is not how you deliver a resume, by the way. You should not highlight anything, okay? These are just for the purpose of that workshop that we had in November. But you should not highlight anything on your resume. Okay, now we have, okay, I have in front of me the finance resume. This person landed an interview at Deloitte, TD Bank, and Fidelity Investments, and he's currently working for Fidelity Investments. So yeah, financial analytics and investments advisory. First sentence, as we mentioned, 2+ years of experience, proven by, leading this, doing that. Spearheaded, powerful verb. Led, powerful verb. Managed, powerful verb. Elevated, powerful verb. The skills sector, and then we have professional experience. Take a look at the job titles. So this person only had 3: financial analyst, financial advisory analyst, financial investments analyst. Okay. And then education, you can see relevant courses in here. 'All right. All right. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to share the last one, which is the marketing one. Okay, I want to share my screen for this last one. Can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. This one was for marketing. This person, take a look at this. This person actually made a career pivot. So she didn't have any experience in marketing at all. She was mainly operations. She pivoted into marketing. Now, the first sentence, as we mentioned, metrics, online sales, customer engagement. All right, these are marketing metrics. Okay, product sales, increased customer retention. All right, customer behavior. All right, skills, and then take a look at these: marketing logistics specialist, market data analyst. All right, marketing manager. Every single title is in line with the sector or the company or basically that she's applying. Okay, she wants to land a position in marketing. We tailor everything towards marketing. And in here, you can mention academic achievements, any awards, any relevant courses. So yeah, this is the last resume as well. Do you have a clear idea when it comes to resume structuring? I showed you some of our top winning documents and their description. Like nothing was changed aside from like removing their personal information and the company that they worked at. So now I want to find a cover letter. Yes, yes, you should write your heading in your cover letter as well. Let me take a look at this. Another thing, while I'm finding the cover letter, you can find some free resources on our website when it comes to how to go about writing cover letters, resumes as well. All right. All right. Let me show you this one. This person is in the engineering space. Okay, just give me a minute so I can find it. Okay, I'm sharing this now. Can you see my screen? All right, perfect. So the same heading in here, just like we said with the resume, your full name, the sector that you're in, and your phone number, email, location. All right. You mentioned in here the company's name, and here you mentioned the location, and before this you mentioned the date as well. If you're applying in a gaming company, it should be on the left of the, sorry, in the right of the page. The date only. Okay. And then you should write, I'm writing to express my interest, yada, yada, yada. I'm currently enrolled in this. And then take a look at these two. Wait, these two right here. Sorry. So this client is expressing why he is the perfect candidate for the position, and then what he knows about the company. Okay. Focuses on skill training, corporate orientation, regular learnings, etc., etc. Okay. And then you thank you, and then your name, and you can also sign it. Okay. Now, do you have a clear idea when it comes to how to go about resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, as well as your networking strategy? Perfect. That's great. Now, I think this webinar was, would you call it a success? Because I think that you learned plenty of things. The only thing, if you don't remember any of these information, the only thing that I would say is remember the networking game. All right. You might not have the best documents out there. You can try. You can try. Absolutely. You can try and create the best documents. But even if you don't want to pour a lot of energy to that, focus on the networking stage. Focus on the active stage of everything. Okay. Focus on that. Absolutely. So we are right on time. It's 6 p.m., 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. my time. So it's like 3 p.m., 5 p.m. GMT. And this is the ending of today's webinar. I hope everyone learned something. I hope this webinar was helpful, was insightful, was practical. I also sent you my email. So for anything, you can reach out to me, maybe for a review. Yeah. So thank you, everyone for joining. You're welcome, Jessica. And I would really appreciate it if you can just open your cameras and we can do like a group photo. Would that be a good idea? You see, Barbara opened her camera. I need another person to join Barbara. Okay, Jessica, another person to join Jessica. Come on, join me. I'm not looking my best either. I had a 40 degrees temperature yesterday, so. Okay, Antoinette also joined with their camera, so I need other people to open their cameras. All right, we need some other people. All right, Belinda also. Where are the men? I'm seeing only women. Wow. You know, you should network and you should go out there when it comes to landing a job. I see now that Barbara, Jessica, Belinda, and Antoinette will have more success compared to you others. See? No, Alfred, come on. Yeah, you see? Okay, great. We have another person. You will also land a position way early compared to the rest of these people in here that don't want to join with their camera open. All right, Harriet also joined. All right. Okay. I'm gonna do, I don't know how to do a group picture. I have no idea. I wanted the marketing team to instruct me a little bit, but I have no idea how to do this. So just smile, everyone. We're gonna I need one more person to join. One more. Just one more person. Alfred, come on. I know you're at work. Come on. I'm calling your name because I saw your name pop up a couple of times. So come on. Come on. I need one person. You know, your networking game will suck, by the way. All right. Okay. So we can do a group photo like this. Everyone smile. Perfect. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining. If you had anything that you wanted to discuss with me, or if you want my review for anything, you have my email. Did everyone get my email? If you need any advice or help or anything, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Okay. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn, but email is way better. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope you have a great evening, day, night, depending on where you're joining from. And yeah, good luck with your job search. All right. You will totally make it, especially the people that open their cameras, especially those people. You will get extra training. You will get some extra training from me. Okay. Just make sure to text me, hey man, I'm this person. I open my camera. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, everyone. You're welcome. Goodbye.